sure we live. Right, shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we're going to give all praises to the Heavenly Father,
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
Double honors, as always, to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone who do well. Peace and salutations, as always, to the elect. All right, the Hebrew Israelites, the branch of Great Millstone here in Dallas, Texas, here. All right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. All right, while we're still in our right minds, Lord willing, we remain to push the glorious word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the gospel, the everlasting gospel that will be preached in all the world, all right, before the end came. All right, and somebody get that? This gospel shall be preached. All right, so before the end will come, there will be a word that went out. And that happened with every empire. Okay, and America is no different. The Lord sent his prophets to speak a word. And that word being fulfilled means the end of that age or world. Go ahead.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 14. It says, "And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world,
Right.
for a witness unto all nations."
All nations, and this is why the Lord created the internet. It wasn't for you to walk your dog and show your baby's first steps or give your opinion or sit in the camera and record about your American experience, although those things help forward prophecy. The Lord set up the internet so that this word could be spread throughout the four corners of the earth, man. Go ahead.
God, it says, "And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come."
And then the end is going to come. And get that in Revelation 14, the everlasting gospel.
What do you mean?
Matthew 24, 14.
Yep. Revelation 14, and I saw another angel.
God. This is Revelation chapter 14 and verse 6. "And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people."
Right, this word has went throughout the four corners of the earth, man. Keep going.
Verse 7, "Saying with a loud voice, Fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai."
Fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay, that's what the loud voice, the new song, that's at the forefront of it. Fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, go ahead.
It says, "Saying with a loud voice, Fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and gives glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come."
Right, the hour of his judgment has come. See that? That's at the forefront of the new song. Fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Judgment is on his way. And these are the times we're living in, where the Lord is getting ready to send judgment out. All right, you see judgments going out. You see the government, the powers that be, all right, moving in closer to basically having the ability, all right, to wage war on U.S. citizens. Okay? You see an agenda being put in place to increase artificial surveillance, AI surveillance. Okay? You see the constant threat of identity theft. Everywhere you look, there's an issue, there's a problem. Okay? And the Donald Trump came in office, all right, and gave you people the illusion that he was going to make America great again. But all you see him doing is the bidding of the elites.
Right.
Okay? The laws that are being passed here in America by Donald Trump, okay, are the laws of the elite, which is total, it ain't no due process, the ability to grab your ass up and take you to another country. Okay? The state is no longer dictating your law. The private sectors that have ultimately bought out this government and bought out your presidency, which it all points to the small hats, all right, are the ones that are dictating the pace. Because what the so-called white man is doing in the earth, all right, is setting the groundwork for the new world he's getting ready to bring. Normalizing, all right, waging war on people. Okay, and it's become so normalized, people don't even notice it. That right now, there are laws on the book where they can cart somebody off based upon them being a migrant or whatever. Are you against their system? A terrorist? Because what's the terror to the so-called white man? Truth. So he could certain slogans like "Free Palestine." That's now considered a domestic terror threat. The Mexican flag, they're now saying that's a signal, that's a sign of terror. Okay, so pretty soon this devil is getting ready to have the legal right to wage war on anything he's not comfortable with. You think this is really about some goddamn migrants, immigrants? It's deeper than that, man.
I got one.
Yep, go ahead.
This is Romans 13:4. For he is the minister of the Most High to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid. For he beareth not the sword in vain. For he is the minister of the Most High, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. That's your how about your side, you this goddamn devil. You see? So this is on the left hand side, this is the Most High system. He set this man up to run that system on the left hand side of the Most High. That's crazy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You see? Yep.
And there's many end time prophecies associated with hard times.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the right ruler is in place to bring those hard times. And things are about to change. Okay, they're showing you the consequences of being against their order openly.
Right.
What they're able to do. Okay, and pretty soon it's gonna be your journalists who have certain views. Okay, union leaders. Okay, pastors. Anyone who opposes, all right, their order. Basically, they're showing you this is what we're getting ready to do to you.
Ain't no more hiding now in secrecy.
Yep. Let's get Revelation 13. You got something?
Them teeth gonna be shown.
11. Revelation 13 and 11. This man's for to show his teeth.
Yep.
Y'all forgot who Esau was. Again, he shaved the hair off his back and put on a suit. And you just really thought that this was an angel of love.
Yeah.
Well, he getting ready to show your ass, man. Go ahead.
God, this is Ecclesiastes 5 and 8 in the NLT. It says, don't be surprised if you see a poor person being oppressed by the powerful, and if justice is being miscarried throughout the land. And here's the point right here. For every official is under orders from higher up, and matters of justice get lost in red tape and bureaucracy.
There you go.
Break it down.
God, yeah, and that's exactly, as the elder was just going into, that's exactly what we're seeing right now. At the end of the day, DT, all right, he's getting his marching orders from on high.
Yeah.
From the banking families, and the banking families, they're just nothing but puppets of Yahweh Shemal Shah, man. Okay, that's how this whole thing is set up and governed. Okay, and the Lord is as the elder made mention, okay, before the kingdom of heaven comes, there's going to be a lot of hard times, and the Lord's going to use his left-handed vessel, Esau Edom, to bring forth and usher in these hard times, man, upon the wicked of his people. The righteous, Psalms 125, it says, the rod of the righteous is like the rod of the wicked should not rest upon the lot of the righteous. So ultimately, everything that's culminating and getting ready to come into play is for these people, man.
Yep, just like the flood was for the wicked.
Right.
Okay? And again, this man is getting ready to pass some very, very demonic legislation. He's getting ready to come down with great wrath, as we've been prophesying. We've been telling you, talking about Jacob's trouble, which we'll get. And Jake mocked us. Jake scoffed us. Jake told us it wasn't no Jacob. Jake, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you plan on getting to the kingdom, you getting ready to go through something.
Mm-hmm.
You getting ready to be in that moment like the Israelites were when Pharaoh was chasing after, and there's nothing but the sea right there. They needed a miracle. The Lord put them in a straight situation. So this getting out of Babylon and Great is going to be a straight situation, but it's going to also be beautiful with the great works that he's going to work with covering his elect. All right?
So Revelation 13 and 11.
Yup.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb.
Right, and this is America. America, the Babylon the Great is prophesied all throughout the Holy Scriptures. America was prophesied. You think all of the kingdom, this is the greatest kingdom that ever ruled, and you go tell me that it's not mentioned in the Bible? It's mentioned in the Bible, man. It's right here. Read it again.
Says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
Right, he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. So there's 2 opposing political systems, all right, each of them having their own, snare or angle. You have people who are drawn into the illusion of choice, the illusion of a side. In the American system, you have a voice, and ultimately the voice is leading you to the same destination. And that's what Esau, he puts on the show and when you look at, even openly, if you really look at a lot of the laws that are passed, a lot of them are bipartisan, meaning that both Democrats and Republicans agree on them. A lot of the laws that go forth every day, but they put this illusion of like they're really divided in front of you in these debates, in the red, the blue, the left, the right, that people really lose the concept, and ultimately nothing is being done to comfort the average everyday American. Right. Everything that's being done is, even including this deportation thing, benefits the elites. Prisons, the elites ball off of prisons. Being able to cart people off and throw them into prisons and put people into captivity, that's another form of slavery.
Yeah,
It's corporatized.
Yeah, they was still like they was doing that in the 2014, 2015 when Barack was still in office, man.
Right.
Like literally, like I was doing construction. Them niggas came. Everybody got word that hey, I think everybody should head out.
Right.
Barack
Obama.
Yeah, we had got word that hey, amigo, you gotta. Bro, half the squad left.
People forget that Obama deported a lot of people, but he did the majority of his deporting at the border. On the border before they got in.
Yeah.
This one is being done as they're already in.
And see, they was doing that like while motherfuckers was working. We were working, bro. And I was like, where everybody going? They said, bro, immigration here, bro. I speak about that. This is over 10 years ago. This is 10 years ago at DFW Airport.
Right.
Yeah, those niggas came. Oh, senor, hasta la mañana.
And a lot of businesses are going to collapse because a lot of these businesses benefit off of those Northern Kingdom because would you rather a nigga who talk about he graduated from college or I went to this kind of cooking school or a Mexican? The nigga is going on benefits. The Mexican, he just gonna show up, or the Ecuadorian or whatever. Ultimately the Latin tribe, they're gonna just show up and they'll work all day. They'll work 20 hours a day, 20 hours straight, just to have money and room and board. So you ain't gotta give them no health care. So now a lot of these businesses are gonna suffer because a lot of their employees are these damn immigrants. So now you're gonna have to try to pay people and really run your business according, and you go end up closing.
Cause that's like the other saying, bro. Everybody know, bro. Both kingdoms, bro. Jake has multiple, so they try their best to have multiple sources of income. Everybody know Issachar work a job, then they'll have another job on top of another job, along with the Southern Kingdom.
Right, but if you over here illegal and you find a company that's willing to hide your ass and pay you
under the table,
that's a motherfucking deal.
Also,
basically, you're my master. You know what I'm saying?
You got companies. I forget what they call it. You got companies that let them come over here. It's like they, I was about to say, like they guardian or something.
Right.
I got a client, don't have citizenship here, but he work with that company. He can't go nowhere else but work for that company. He can travel back and forth to Mexico and all that. Yeah, bro. It's like a sponsorship.
Yeah, got
corporations do that too.
One of them special visas.
Yep. He just worked for that company.
Yeah, because they said I think he had Jake. That Jake that looked like a Hamite and always got his hands like that.
Oh yeah. I think
because he was in the movie.
Yeah, they deported him.
Yeah, they deported him.
Oh, they be doing this and shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit, they know that. They don't say that.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
Lord ain't playing, man.
That's what the Lord's setting up, because like I say, both parties, as you say, as I like to say, is two wings of the same bird.
It's the same bird.
Yeah, because every time you look, they just try to do a seesaw to you people. 1 minute it's going to Republican, the next 4 years is a Democrat. If you look at the last 20, 30 plus years, usually it's what? Republican, Democrat, Republican. They just please both sides. But like I said, that bipartisan is going to lead to the same type of agenda they'll be setting on no matter who's in office.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the two horns like a, you said something?
And then you got Elon throwing everybody under the bus.
Yep. Egyptian against Egyptian.
Yep.
It's all theater, but at the same time, it fulfills prophecy.
Yeah.
And these devils really are divided.
Yeah.
Esau has never got along with each other. Esau tries to present himself like he's the nigga.
Yeah.
Everything that he likes to point out in Jake, which Jake is nothing good about a nigga. But at the same time, Esau is they learned that shit from you.
Yeah.
You know? Read that again.
And Revelation 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
He had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, man. The dragon going into what? Harsh rule. And when you go into ancient Rome, they were known for periods where they kicked people out of their empire.
Mm-hmm.
See? That's another, because we know the dragon is Rome. All right, now Draco goes back to an Athenian lawgiver, Athens, Greece. That's where democracy started, in Athens, Greece. And ultimately, those would always turn into tyrants. So you had this damn demon Draco, like if you did anything, all right, nigga coughed the wrong way, death! You know what I'm saying? He would just, how he's feeling, he just pass laws.
Yep.
Oh, you don't agree? You know what I'm saying? You won't, but he just have your ass put to death. Jaywalk, death. And what it was used to do was silence people. See, that's all a democracy is, really. If you look at it, basically, they'll take a marginalized group, a group that's hated, and put them in front of the camera. And ultimately, this becomes the people we need to love, the people we need to protect, the people who need to be uplifted, the people who need to be given better jobs. These marginal, the ubiquitous community.
Yeah.
Eve, women, all this shit, right? But with that, he's able to pass laws to silence people who talk about these people, this group, who have an opposing idea. He's able to use this group, which ultimately is really a small percentage of in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Okay, it ain't that many goddamn trainees walking around here. To where it's more regular people, bro.
Yeah. And it's like low. It'd be like low percentages.
Right.
But they propagate it to where it's growing. It's growing.
Right. And they're able to use the media
Yeah.
to keep force feed this agenda down your throat.
Yeah.
That these people are being oppressed, things are harder on them. And then he's able to weaponize talking against them, talking against that point, and pass laws on it.
Yeah.
Because a democracy is what? The rule of the people.
Yeah.
So what the people want, we're going to center our laws around that. A republic is more so like, no, these are the laws, like what Trump is doing. These are the laws. As long as you within this realm of keeping my law, you good with me.
Yeah.
You'll never get to where I'm at, but follow these laws, you good. If you go against it, nigga, we'll wage war on your ass. But both ultimately are leading you to the same, okay, in its own way. It's leading you to the same destination.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Read it again, Salaki.
Revelation 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth.
Right.
And he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
Right. Somebody look up that word horn. He had two horns like a lamb. So this is speaking of his democratic and republic system, his left versus right. And it goes so deeper than democratic republic. He showed you in WWF what he is all about. He basically can give you the illusion of a feud.
Yeah.
And captivate you by the shit. Like, wow.
Mm-hmm. Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, and
Right.
Elizabeth.
The whole time, it's all, it's a big game. They just do drugs, take steroids. All right, you know what I'm saying?
Lift weights.
Lift weights and do commercials, you know?
Big beers.
They was tripping. You look at them wrestlers, go back and listen to Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior. They were bugged out, man.
Yeah.
They got a cult of personality, but that shit was intriguing, but it was fake.
Yeah. And Jake, when you were little, your spirit was broken. When you had older adults, you know that's fake. That ain't fake.
I know it's fake them. I knew my own man like
Yeah, you still got certain older Jakes, you know what I'm saying, who watch wrestling.
Yeah.
And they don't, nigga, don't, hey, what's that? It's a saying, it's a song. If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. I forget how it goes, but basically, nigga, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I don't want to know that it's fake. Nigga, I don't want to hear that.
55 years old with a WWF sticker on his wall and shit.
Mm-hmm. Niggas got belts and everything.
Yep, yeah, hey, certain brothers even probably into wrestling. You know, I'm not, but you know, certain brothers into it.
It's entertainment, it's just for show.
Right.
I got that word for it.
Because you think you watching, well, I watch the NFL, that's the same goddamn thing.
Yep, they got pads on.
It's just, it's all controlled. And it's bugged out. It's bugged out how he's able to give you the illusion of but he controlled the shit the whole time. That is insane.
No, but people, he rocked with people to sleep. Cause back in the Roman Coliseum, it's the same shit.
Yeah.
Right.
He rocked with people back. People forgot about that.
But we even sometimes be into that shit.
Yeah, you know
what I'm saying? But we got the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
We'll
saying?
watch it now and be like, all right, I'm over here. I'm over here to read this book or something.
Yeah, because you do have particular men in the faith who were a part of those arenas, you know, in times past. So, you know, brothers let you know the ins and outs. Yeah, you know, they'll let you go hard for this and that, this certain minutes. And then, hell, a lot of Jake who retired from those leagues are coming out, having all them dope ass podcasts, and they let you know, oh, bro, it ain't set up for what you think it is. They telling you.
That shit take years off your life.
Yeah.
Football is a brutal sport, bro.
Yeah.
My body's still effed up behind
Football?
I still feel shit. All right.
You said
Yeah,
red and
where you
red.
at?
That word.
Because it said 2 horns like a lamb. Go ahead.
God, this is the Greek word for horn for Revelation 13:11, Strong's G 2768, charas. We're gonna get straight to the point. It says, section I, a mighty and valiant helper, the author of deliverance.
He makes himself into a savior. Even via his med field, he's a savior.
Yeah.
Technology, AI, is being set up as a savior. Okay? These 2 opposing systems have been people's saviors. And they're maniacs over it. It has the whole country divided into these politics. Meanwhile, they are losing. The working class is losing.
Yeah.
Okay, they step right over you and instead of saying, okay, let's say if they did with the same thing they're doing with the alphabet community and the women and the trans, if they put that energy towards the working class, the people who really are responsible for this shit flowing, man. Wouldn't that make sense? But he's the devil, man.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wins, but but people, you know,
The people that got this whole motherfucking society running.
Right.
that's a nigga. You know, those niggas treat the people who love them the most, the worst.
Yeah.
That's a nigga. Esau's a nigga, man. Go ahead.
It says, I'm read that section again. It says, a mighty and valiant helper, the author of deliverance. It says, of the Messiah.
There you go. He's trying to make himself into the Messiah. When you look up what he's trying to do, the chip itself is a savior. Okay? He's ultimately trying to X out the Son of the Most High. And the plan for the Most High to have him rule on earth, he's trying to X that out and basically set himself in position to be the savior. You see that? And in the grand scheme of things, everything's dying. Everything's confused. Look at this man's kingdom. Look around the world. This is a mess. Yet he's gonna save you. He's gonna save you from the shit, the results of his rulership.
That he created. He created this shit once you look him up. You know?
And people still fall for it, man. The water Yahweh Shah for giving us the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Call on it.
Because imagine looking at this shit and depending on one of these, you know,
Yeah, you be right.
Mad Biden ain't in there or Kamala, you know, imagine that spirit was on you.
Still talking about the 92%. 12, like, man, shut up, bro.
Shut the F up. So he had two, read it again.
This is Revelation 13 and 11.
That scriptures frame mischief by law.
Revelation 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
Right, and when you read this, this is the final leg of the Roman Empire in the latter days. Okay? The Renaissance period brought about the rebirth of Rome. And from there, okay, eventually came America. Starting out at Italy, right? French, Spain, Germany was up in there, right? The British, and the America. America pretty much is the ending point of this man's system. The ending point of the revival of Rome, right? That other little horn.
Yep.
And this is expounding on the vision in Daniel, the 7th chapter. See that? And as you read this, the chip comes from this system. Go ahead.
Verse 12. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him.
Right, he exercised all the power of the first beast before him. And if anybody got ChatGPT, you can just look up expulsions in the Roman Empire, how they would there were points where they would deport you on your, basically on your ideology, your philosophy. You can get deported out of Rome by your philosophy. It wasn't just the Jews, which really it was the followers of Yahushua that got kicked out of Rome. Okay? But it was different times where there were other groups that literally were kicked out of Rome. So he's exercising the very same power. You got to look at what Trump is doing. This nigga is reaching back to French methods, laws that come out of the what's that law he passed? I forget.
The big beautiful bill.
Not that, but it's the Insurrection Act.
Oh, yeah.
That goes back to what? The French, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
Yeah, look up the Insurrection Act. I mean, basically, that was used to silence people too. But he's reaching back to ancient methods to handle modern events.
Yeah.
So he's exercising that same power. France is a part of this beast system. Okay? Is it from French?
It's coming up.
So he's exercising all the power of the ancient Western Roman Empire right before your very eyes. But now technology is involved. Now, instead of that region that Rome conquered, they have the whole world in their hand. They're living in their blessing. All right?
Yeah, they're doing the French Revolution.
Yep.
Insurrection Act. Yeah, 1792.
Yep, 1792. He's reaching back to the 1700s to handle something in 2025. So they're going back to more ancient methods, and it's only gonna get worse, man. Public beheadings, all of that is coming. Okay, what was that movie? I forget. They had the mask on. They were openly executing people. All right, who came up? They would execute them. Yeah, they would execute them like in front of like everybody. It would show up on the screen like they would execute.
Even Vendetta.
Yeah, right. Wasn't it something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's coming back.
Yep.
Okay? Remember, Rome was known for openly punishing its criminals. Right? In Colosseums, like you would pay to go see the criminals and the evildoers of that against their empire. You would see them ate by fucking hungry lions.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That was a normal part of the Roman way. So he's going back. He's reaching back to those ways. He's ultimately getting ready to justify by law beating your ass
On camera.
on camera.
Yeah, he would put it out like that would do sometimes before the gladiator game. They would do that to try to show how the people looking at it. So if you in that stadium, that's for everybody to see.
Yeah.
You know, and now we don't have to be in the stadium. You can put it on TV.
Yeah.
You know, public place.
Dang.
You know, those gladiator games were way different back then. Those gladiator games was on to the death.
Yeah.
It wasn't football,
Football, right.
soccer, none of that
Your
shit.
interview after, no, your ass is dead.
Your interview with the spirit world.
Yeah.
Your interview with the spirit world, you going back down here again, player.
Dragging your ass off. Your wife crying.
You know,
Blood stain longest way.
But they did that to the followers of Yahweh Shai. They would put them out last. They would take out, they would have the, criminal petty crime, these people who were punished. But then he brought out the apostles. Why he said he have sent out the apostles last, as it were, unto death, man. We made a spectacle, because everybody looking, and now everybody's fixating. As the world burns and is collapsing and going crazy, everybody talking about the Israelites.
Yeah.
Vocab is flying around the world worried about the Israelites.
Oh, he got a good age, bro.
It's the spirit on him.
Yeah.
If you're going to fly to scoff and ask the same goddamn questions you asked 8 years ago, and there's a spirit on you.
yeah.
There's a spirit on him to do that. He ain't going to stop. He's not going to stop. Like, we be like, he's not going to stop until the Lord stops him.
Yep.
But you best believe in times like this, for him to get another notch within their shit, he's going to have the breakdown. They're going to use him on certain news channels to give you the breakdown of Hebrew Israelism.
Right.
He's going to be used.
Yep.
Because he knows they sent him, but he's not a really high level guy. You know what I'm saying? In the grand scheme of things, they're going to use him on down the line.
Yep.
Okay? Be looking forward to vocab on CNN News to tell you about the Israelites. And the crazy thing about it, he's never got his ass beat. You visited all these Israelites, even the camps we don't agree with. Nobody attacked him.
No harm, no threat, no nothing.
But we're the problem. We're the threat. If we were really that bad, he would have,
Yeah, we would have been off the streets years ago.
You'd be crippled by now.
right. He would have been, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's justified. Pestering people. You're basically a professional housefly.
Yeah. Right.
A gnat at best. Vocab loan's a gnat at best. And no matter how much you slap his ass, he gonna come back in your ear.
Wake up and shit.
Wake
up shit.
Remember flies back in the 80s and 90s? You would spray them.
Yeah.
And then like 2 weeks later, you just, you like, what the fuck? You look behind the curtain, this nigga done woke up. He ain't hungry, nigga. You just get up and fly again. That's vocab alone.
He's a professional stalker.
Yeah, he's a stalker. That's creepy.
Yeah.
Brother going to the bathroom, he rolled down the
I
window.
was gonna bring it up.
It was nice meeting you, Jacob. It's like the windows tinted. He's like a real Dr. Claw demon, man. I'll get you next time, gang. He's like a demon. And that's Christianity, though. That's normal. Just follow people around.
That's their MO. Man.
The big kid, man.
Oh, man.
And y'all really think the Lord dealing with y'all? The Lord ain't dealing with y'all. Y'all gonna take the chip. Christians are gonna take the chip.
Mm-hmm.
Christians are gonna battle. When Esau get to really putting his foot down, the Christian ain't rooted enough to stand on these scriptures.
Right.
Yep.
This is Psalms 94 and verse 20, and it reads, "Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law?"
So you see the elite are framing mischief by law, and a lot of these people are agent provocateurs. A lot of these protests were peaceful, but you get there, and just like when BLM was rioting, there's bricks, right? So you have certain people with a, kind of like a real, mind to just protest.
Yeah.
But there's an agent there.
Yeah.
And he's throwing stuff, and paid agents. And man, this man got all kind of money.
Yeah.
So he can go out there and pay hundreds of people to just fuck it up for everybody else.
Yeah. Because they said, rumor has it, I believe here in Dallas, they said, I guess they didn't get the permission they were supposed to have, because it's been stated that permission is required to have those protests. You gotta check in with the city.
Yeah, right.
So supposedly this go around with the immigration thing, with the ICE, the anti-ICE protests, it wasn't regulated. So they go on that route now. So,
Right.
which is a known fact. In order for you to have a protest, you have to check in with the city of Dallas.
Yep. In order for IUIC to march and these different camps to march, the streets get shut down. They have to get permission. You can't just do that.
Yeah.
All right. That has to be on the books.
Yeah.
All right. You have to be permitted to do that. That from this time to this time, traffic is gonna be slow in this area. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't just do that shit.
You get police escorts to kind of cut off this,
Right.
the certain streets and everything.
Yeah.
You know, but they let you know Esau controls that.
Right.
We're gonna let you know when you can do when you actually can
Right.
march.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why they feel safe about going out there doing it.
Yeah.
Because they feel like they got protection.
Right. Right. And
Shit is nuts.
you got to think, along with this, there's this influx in camps marching. There's this influx in camps getting carnal, you know, on camera and just, you know, showing that we warriors, we can fight. It's just all of a sudden, at a very timing, at a very critical time, this is what certain camps are doing to go in line with the very narrative that they're pushing. That domestic terror is the problem with our system, whether it be an immigrant, whether it be somebody with a radical ideology, you know, all of them, the right wing, this, that, the left, we got to get rid of all of them. We need to bring order. So he's going to be able to pass a law, and all of us are going to be labeled in that same thing. Y'all marching, y'all doing it, y'all, boom.
Yeah.
They go blame it on the Israelites.
Yeah.
They go blame the radicalized mind of these people going out and doing these things on street preachers and people who are using online hate speech.
Yeah.
So he's framing mischief by law. He's framing mischief by causing the problem. You get the necessary action. Trump keeps talking about the people want safety. People want to feel safe in their neighborhoods, especially in the black neighborhoods. And he keeps talking about we're going to put more police. We're going to bring, who did he bring?
The Marines.
The
right?
Marines.
Yeah.
See that?
Y'all forget about down there in Memphis. He putting troops, the federal troops down in Memphis too. See, Jay forgot about that. All that killing down in Memphis. Yeah, he got some federal troops down there too.
Yeah.
That nigga throw a rock over here, got everybody striking over here. Meanwhile, he over here orchestrating shit, bro.
He's setting up
He's setting shit up.
because again, Americans have too many freedoms. They have to justify getting around that Constitution, and they're openly doing it. When you hear Trump say that a U.S. citizen won't have due process, what's that letting you know?
Man,
Throwing away the Constitution. Yeah.
Openly, that these are talking points that people are becoming, it's normalized to say that, and people ain't even losing it.
Yeah.
People ain't losing it because they're justifying it, because we do got to get these wild, crazy motherfuckers out of our kingdom.
right.
It's a perfect plan, man. Esau is the devil, man.
Yep.
You would think he had all this money. Why don't you just set up the order? But he got just set up the order. Tell people this is what it is. But he has to do this. He has to do that. He has to lure people into traps to where he can demonize them.
Yep.
That's the accuser of the brethren. Somebody get that?
Can I get
Yeah,
that
yeah.
NLT?
Yep. Hit it.
Con, this is Psalms 94 and verse 20 in the NLT, and it reads, "Can unjust leaders claim that the Most High is on their side?" Which he's not when you pursuing the Psalm, the 50th chapter, man. You know, he says that they thought that he was on there altogether one with them, you know, but he's, like he said, he's reproving him by the mouth of the prophets, and he's setting them in order, you know, right before they're, which is talking about his people, man. So he's getting us, you know, ready, you know, while he's rebuking them. So he's not on their side. It says, again, can unjust leaders claim that the Most High is on their side? Leaders whose decrees permit injustice, you know, which is those unrighteous decrees spoken of in Isaiah the 10th chapter, man. You know what I'm saying? They prescribe, they sit down and put all this crap together before, you know, and then they bring these, which like the scripture say, they sit upon their beds and come up with all these different ways to jack Jake up. You know, then you know, he'll sit down, write an executive order, you know, going hard on them, by the way. And then boom, they put this stuff out on Jake, man. You know what I'm saying? So hey, the Lord is not with them. He's not on their side. He's not with leaders who decree.
Yep, I got it. Yep.
Who decrees permit injustice.
Yep. Isaiah 10:1. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees, that write grievousness which they have prescribed.
So forth. Yep.
Yep.
And woe means destruction, man. So the Lord is after these dudes, man. He's not with them, you know. Because these decrees they're not for your sake, man. They're not good for you, man. You know, they're setting you up, man. And he was about to come down on you,
To
man.
surveil on you, to take away your civil liberties, to take away your rights, to justify a China-like environment here in America. Okay, he's doing it by deceit. These are unrighteous decrees. The Patriot Act. Okay, that was meant to, look for terrorists, but then what did it end up being used for? To spy on American citizens. To justify taking away rights from American citizens. That's ultimately what came of it. And it's still here. In the right event, they're going to have the ability, because they got everything covered, man. It could be a civil unrest. It could be a blackout. It could be a demic. It could be another demic-like scenario. He got you on every end.
Someday he's causing. He gonna cause it.
He's causing it. That's what I'm noticing about a lot of end-time prophecy. It's the age of deceit.
Mm-hmm.
So even some of the earthquakes, it's him. But it still fulfills prophecy of there's earthquakes and, uproars of the people. A lot of the uprisings are orchestrated, but it still fulfills it.
Like the harp and all that.
Yeah. Yep. But people are ultimately getting ready to lose it because he has to keep going. He cannot stop. He has to get this thing going.
Right.
Because he has but a short time.
Right.
So he's getting ready to frame mischief by a law. Through his policy, get that? Through his Daniel 11, which this is speaking of Antiochus Epiphanes, but this beast system has the Greek, it's a little Greek sprinkled in here. All right, this is Greek customs here in America.
Yep.
The Nike check, the goddess of victory.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Asclepius, the Greco-Roman god of healing.
Yep.
That's the symbol on your man
Manfield.
field. You see? Go ahead.
This is Daniel chapter 8 and verse 25. It says, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand.
And that's what Antiochus Epiphanes did. He used his policy. He even sent people to the Jews, and they came as if they were meek and humble, but they were getting ready to wage war. They waged a martial law type scenario on anybody who did not adhere to Hellenization. Anyone who wanted to stick to what they wanted to do, you had to go. See what I'm saying? This is Hellenization, and when you go into Hellenization, they branded their subjects. If you, to prove you down with our gods and that you were fully submitted and that you were totally done away with your, that's why he calls people radical. It means your roots. Radical, the word radical means roots. So anyone who's sticking to their roots and don't want to go along with the way of Hellenization, to prove you did it, you would get a brand.
Yeah.
So what is that brand today?
Yes, sir. The sea hippie.
The C-Hip.
Yep.
That's the modern day brand.
Mm-hmm.
If I can add two real quick, Zaquan, that word, when you go on that word craft, it literally means his treachery and his deceit. Which the elder mentioned that we're in. That's the time we're in. This the deceit. So yeah, that's treachery and deceit, man. Through his policies, that's what he's gonna. His treachery and deceit, he's gonna cause to prosper.
Yep.
He come up with an 800-page report on page 799. You can tell, but you got to go through all the jargon to get to that. Deceitful, man.
Right.
Yeah, his laws are just stupid.
Grievous. Grievous.
Yep.
Yeah, just like you said with the C-hip, like that brand, just like they did in slavery. What, they give you an earring.
And a brand.
And a brand.
They
Yeah.
brand your ass.
Yeah.
Annabellum, you look at that movie.
Yeah,
Whenever
that's
they caught a
right.
runaway slave, they branded them to show that this is my property. So if you ever run away again, all right, they'll know that you belong to me.
Yeah.
By a brand on you.
Yep. Yeah, the frats and sorority, when you
Yep.
said the Greek is sprinkled in there.
Yep.
Hey, what the Q's got, right?
Yep.
Call them
Yep.
wigs.
And basically, you're showing your alliance to Greco-Roman gods. and you make an oath by the brand. Okay, well, again, he's getting ready to, he's justifying that system, surveillance. Okay, and he frames mischief by law by demonizing anyone who's against it, and then passing laws and justifying openly beating their ass and carting them off, man.
Yeah.
To another country, just because you have another ideology, you could wake up in a country you've never been to.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, piece of work.
And the buildings are already waiting on your ass. The prisons are already waiting on your ass.
Then have you noticed all these warehouses they building around here, bro?
Yep.
It's like a warehouse pop up every 6 months, bro. I'm like, yeah, they just dividing shit up here.
Yeah.
This section of the population, bro, man, there's too many warehouses, bro, where I live at, bro. All of a sudden, I'm just popping up. Big ass warehouses. Yeah, come on, man.
Cause they put the throw the niggas in there. Niggas getting thrown in there, and we may be in one.
Yeah.
He said he go throw us in prison. That's crazy, right?
Yep.
Come
But it's coming. Okay, they're getting ready we're getting ready to be a part of those people who are basically what they're doing in Palestine. What are they doing? Ethnic cleansing, all right? They're tapping, we told y'all they was gonna tap back into that scientific racism. These type of savages by law, or it's not racism, it's science. These type of people gotta go. And we can justify it by the test and by the statistics, by the behavior patterns.
Crazy. Man.
And he's able to accuse you. This is why we need the blood of Yahweh Shah, because none of the accusations stand on those. The 2/3 are guilty.
Right. Yeah.
But if you covered under the blood of Yahweh Shah, you're not guilty. So he can't accuse you. It's not going to work. He's been disarmed through that blood. Because Satan's tool against Jake is accusing you.
Yeah.
Okay? Creating a system of sin and luring you into all type of traps and snares to where he can blame you and justify having advantage over your ass through the Lord not dealing with you.
Crafty. Let's go say it too.
Go ahead, read it again.
Let me get an NLT.
Man, that's
If you want to.
God, this Daniel 8:25 NLT. He will be a master of deception and will become arrogant. He will destroy many without warning.
What Trump doing? He puffing himself up, going back to in 1801, coming out with laws 2025 and doing it publicly.
And he's serious.
That mother ain't playing.
He's serious. They serious. It's not a game.
He ain't playing.
Okay?
Yep.
It says he will even take on the prince of princes in battle, but he will be broken, though not by human power.
See that? And that's going to happen in this time.
Yeah.
All right? Because it's going to get so bad, pursuant to Daniel, the 12th chapter, that ultimately the angels going to have to intervene. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're looking forward to. That's why we approach Jacob's trouble. What's that scripture in where they walked into the fire praising the Lord? What's that?
3 holy children.
3 holy children.
Like verse 26 or something.
Oh, you want the Isaiah 24 or 3 other children?
3
So
holy
both
children.
of them, I can pick up.
What did I tell you again, Isaiah 24?
I would have glorify the Lord in midst of the fires. I thought you were talking about that.
Okay, well, you can get that.
Okay, God.
Get that. Then get that other one.
Okay. This is
Whoever can find it.
okay. This is the book of Isaiah. I'll start right here, verse 14, Isaiah 24:14. They shall lift up their voice. They shall sing for the majesty of Yahweh Bashimah. They shall cry aloud from the sea. Wherefore, glorify ye the Lord Yahweh Bashimah in the fires.
In the fires.
Yeah.
You know, we're in there's fires being fanners. There's fires being set all over, you know, this place, and the fire can be the people being roused up.
Yeah.
Okay, there's spirits on these people, man.
Yeah.
There's a spirit of confusion, death, disparity, perplexity. All right, this is a big ball of confusion right here, and people are jabbed up. The food is weaponized against them. All he has to do is put a frequency out there, and who knows what the hell's getting ready to happen out here. He's already doing it, but he's doing it, you know, slow, and you can tell as people are bugging out. But he's getting ready to turn it up. Okay, so we're going to be glorifying the Lord in the midst of fires. We're walking towards the fire, praising the Lord.
I know.
And Jake doesn't have confidence that the Lord can deliver, because this is like a Goliath America. But the beast system is like Goliath.
Mm-hmm.
It looks impossible. But David trusted in his rock, man.
Sirach 4 and verse 9. It's like I said, he's gonna put us in the midst of the fire. So we gotta be, we're gonna end up being like fine gold. The Lord is covering us. It says Sirach 4 and verse 9, deliver me that suffers wrong from the hand of the oppressor, and be not faint-hearted when thou sittest in judgment. So, like I say, all these fires are being set. We're going to be in the midst of all this that's happening. But, like I say, but we're going to be delivered, but we're supposed to have that trust in the Lord. We're supposed to believe it and have that faith in the time of judgment. Just like the 7 brothers, they continue with their faith. So we don't know what is going to be at the hands of, what Esau is going to be presenting unto the men of the Lord. But we know that when we're in the Lord's hand, he can't pluck us out. All right, so we got to continue on through the faith and have that belief, knowing the Lord is going to guide our path. That's what it says in 2 Ezra, with the 2 Ezra 7, with the water on one side, the fire on the other side. You're going to go through certain adversities during this time of these fires being lit, but we know what's at hand is the kingdom of heaven.
Yep, I got something for you. This is Sirach 51 and 2. For thou art my helper, my defender. Thou hast preserved my body from destruction, and from the snare of the slanderous tongue, and from the lips that forge lies, and has been mine helper against mine adversaries.
Like I said, that Esau is that deaf adder. He's continuing speaking lies. All right, but the Lord, like I said, we got to help him. All right, we have someone that's gonna get us through these hard times, these bad times. With that bad time, with the evil times.
Right.
So we got the helper that's gonna deliver us.
Right.
Because now you're seeing Esau's focused on the tribes.
Yes.
He is actually focused on the tribes now. And you see what he's doing. He's trying to rouse them up to cause certain chaos so he can say I have a means to bring forth arms against them. So he's utilizing his force, but he's trying to rouse up these different nations.
Yeah.
And against the nation of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Look what they're doing. And now you see every time you come on TV, you see them raising flags, throwing bricks onto the windows.
It's BLM all over again.
That's what it is.
It's all.
And it's orchestrated. Who was behind BLM?
It's
Soros, man.
Mm-hmm.
And he got his hands in this. This is what they do. They do this worldwide. It was found out even the Democrat Party, where a lot of the waste, a lot of the money was being sent overseas to form coups and form rebellions against certain things going on in countries, so that he can destabilize the damn country, man. This is what he does. He does a good job, but everybody is kind of seeing through it now. Like, all right, bro, this is the same play.
Yeah.
This is the same shit Columbus and them did, and justified in their journals. Oh, they fought back, They're savages. They're savages because you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. This is what Esau has always did. He's tapping back into his scientific racism, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this time AI is involved. So he's getting ready to take things to another level. I'm going to jump to verse 4, Sirach 51 and 4. It says, from the choking of fire on every side, and from the midst of a fire which I kindle not. You're in the midst of a fire being blamed for, but you didn't do it.
Nero.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you blame the fires on the Israelites, man.
Right, and this is Sirach. He was during the Greek Empire, so when you talk, don't trust your enemy, he was speaking of experience, knowing what his fathers had been through under the Greeks.
Yeah.
And he was speaking, when you read Sirach, it's from the perspective of a Jake in captivity, man. And how to maneuver, but he said, never trust your enemy, man.
Yeah.
They knew they had enemies. They witnessed Hellenization, man. They witnessed the brutal way that this man will get you, and use certain leaders of your own people to work against you.
And dude, like you said earlier, like with this whole social media, man, they're peeping your algorithm, and they're seeing your train of thought and the things you agree with and the things you disagree with. Because something I seen, interestingly enough, Jake always gonna show who they allegiance to. It was this video of how Jake is so comfortable of working under the so-called white man. It's literally a video of that. You know, I just feel, you know, more comfortable if I work. Hey, you gonna get your opportunity. Jake been getting a goddamn chance. Like Jake loves to be a goddamn slave, man.
Yeah.
Jake doesn't have a kingdom mindset.
The Democratic Party did that to Jake big too.
Yeah.
Jake's fight became a crumb.
Yeah.
Sitting next to the white man eating a waffle. Now I can live. The whole thing was about begging Esau to accept your black ass.
Just sit at the table.
He sit at his table, and you never got to the table.
And that's why, you know, we like understand the situation we in. Why? Because we went off. We went against the Most High first and foremost, and abandoned His law, statutes, and commandments. But you understand 2/3 of our people when they like, nah, bro, I ain't working for no goddamn white man. I'm gonna do my own thing. You know what I'm saying? We get where that comes from, because they're not content, which we're not content, but we're not content in the spiritual sense. Jake is not content in the carnal sense here. You know, so we're, you know, and that does ruffle some feathers, because we understand what time it is, bro. We understand we're behind enemy lines, but a lot of these Jake, they're not going down a correct path. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So they're not gonna be protected.
Yeah, and we're showing you through the spirit that, hey, bro, this is an example of the way. Like, shit, we can't save ourselves, but hey, this is a way for some type of reprieve, some type of hope. You know, hopefully that, you know, touch your spirit to tap into. But that's the will of the Heavenly Father, though.
Right.
Yep.
And then, if I can add real quick, go ahead. In Jeremiah, you know, the Lord asked, is Jacob a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? You know, because he was going into that, you know. But when you read in Ecclesiastes, what is that, 6 or 7? 10, where it says that servants on the horses?
10, Ecclesiastes 10.
I'm saying 6. Oh, it's 10 and 6.
Yeah, I can get that for you.
Right. You can get it.
Yeah, come.
We're not the servants, man. We're the princes that's walking the earth right now. The servants are these Edomites upon the horses. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You know. So the Lord is like, yeah, what's up, man? What's wrong with y'all? You know what I'm saying? The majority of our people are through, bro. You know, the wrong mentality. As a matter of fact, Jake is Hellenized right now.
Yeah.
And the majority of our people don't even realize it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, you Hellenized right now, bro.
Hellenized.
Yes.
And got the Greek names.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
Bad range, yeah.
Bro, no new thing under the sun. Everything happens again and again. So, but bring that out.
That's right. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 6. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place.
Yep, folly is set in great dignity. You know, boy, this place is everything. Everywhere you look, you seeing folly, madness. Like, dude, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So, and it's set on high. You know, you got all on your social media, all these different things that they do, challenges and different. All of it is madness. They're getting up on top of these crates and breaking their neck. That's madness, man. That's folly, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's set in high, you know what I'm saying? High regard here, man. Great dignity.
Jake having heavy disagreements about, hey, and that lets you know, like, of course we know what's going on, bro. We touch grass every day, as they say on the internet, or the modern sayings. We touch grass every day. You know, we outside. You know, we're people too, right? But you got Jake, you know, debating over bullshit. You niggas up in a frenzy about the BET Awards. Right. I forgot that was even happening. Right. Till I tuned in on the internet yesterday. Like, oh shit, that's the BET, okay.
Niggas are just arguing about
any and everything. They
you have a woman on the internet do a video making her husband a plate. And women are just in the comment board, yeah, I bet you he cheating on you, you just mad. It's just niggas are just arguing about any goddamn thing. It's like, bro, what are niggas so mad about?
You can't so-called cheat on an empty stomach.
I mean, it's just a bunch of madness. Jake is just into any and everything, man. Yeah. Anything Esau throws out there for them to look at, they run into it.
Yep.
Now you do gotta watch this, man. But Jake is entangled, and this man got their mind and he's fattening them up to take. He getting ready to take away everything.
Yeah.
Okay, he's getting ready to take a lot of your jobs are getting ready to be taken, and who's being affected the most? The so-called black woman.
Yep.
Why do you think the Lord is doing that?
No protection.
Okay, the 2/3 of our people are getting ready to be visited, man.
Yeah.
And if you're an Israelite and you got a problem with that, you ain't of the elect.
Yeah.
It's time out for the 2/3. They gotta go.
Yeah.
Like it's no this is the judgment that the Lord is getting ready to bring on them. Somebody get that Wisdom of Solomon 3 in the last verse.
It's Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3 and verse 11. It's like in verse 19. For horrible is the end of the unrighteous generation.
Horrible is the end of the unrighteous generation. They gotta go. Now that we've learned righteousness, we should be looking at the 2/3 of our people, whether man or woman, and have a frown on our face. We don't want that no more, man.
Yeah.
This is the final time that we got to look at our people in a jacked up state, man.
Yeah.
Noah saw it. All of the prophets had to see their people just bugged out, man. It's draining. Jake is draining.
Yeah.
Jake makes the captivity even worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the Lord is getting ready to bring a brutal judgment. What was that? What's that scripture for this? Their purpose came to flood, bloodshed. Because we speak of these judgments, but the Lord is going to protect the elect through it, and some of us are going to be martyrs. But that's good because the spirit world ain't such a bad deal right now.
Yeah.
Man.
You go back to the spirit world. What's so bad about that? You know, oh, I had to go back to the spirit world. So you go fight to stay alive when the Lord clearly is over for you.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? Fight to live in a world where the chip is the standard? No, just go back to the spirit world.
Yeah. Exactly.
And be raised back up when Yahweh Shai comes, man.
That's right.
You sure ain't missing shit here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's no way to lose if you're the elect. Because when Yahweh Shai comes, you win.
That's right.
Where we at?
Okay.
Read it again?
Wisdom of Solomon.
Or whatever you got.
Okay, this the book of Sirach, chapter 40 and verse 9. It says, death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge. These things are created for the wicked.
These things are created for the wicked. Go ahead.
And for their sakes came the flood.
Right. And for whose sake? Really, it was Cain and them, but Jake. Who was the theme of Genesis, the 6th chapter? The sons of God. How do you grieve they grieved the Lord? Like the Lord was like, what the fuck? That I made it, you know what I'm saying?
You grieve the creator.
This ain't it. You know, and then he brought a flood.
Yeah.
So it was for their sake came the flood. These judgments that we're talking about, we ain't speaking that on ourselves. These things are getting ready to, those who really believed in Esau, the niggas who bowed, took the jab, you know, gonna keep taking jabs. You know, like they'll take the chip, like the Lord, like, oh man, you niggas are about to lose. Those scoffers, you dudes in these other camps changing the doctrine every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, this nigga popping up with a new doctrine. At the end.
At the end.
At a crucial time where Jake needs to be stable in the gospel and the doctrine. Now they have to rethink this, they gotta rethink that, they gotta implement this, they gotta stop and follow you. No. Nah, man. Yep.
This is Sirach 16 and 6. It says, in the congregation of the ungodly shall a fire be kindled. And in a rebellious nation, wrath is set on fire. He was not pacified toward the old giants who fell away in the strength of their foolishness.
Right. That's the sons of God. All right. The giants, the mighty men of the ancient world, man, of the old world. Okay. Who fell from their grace, man. The Lord wasn't pacified. Eventually he judged them. He drowned all their asses. All right, in that year, the last of the righteous before Noah, Methuselah, died, and pretty much all of the righteous lineage were back in the spirit world, and it was just Noah and the wicked of Jake and the other nations, and the Lord just drowned their asses. Just drowned them. Just drowned everybody.
And then he saved that. He saved Noah and his family a piece of wood.
Yeah.
Read the Lord.
Yep.
Yeah, he said, repent to me that I made creation. He looked down and said, these niggas tripping.
Yeah. And we got faith in that. Because y'all say, well, the Bible stole that from the Epic of Gilgamesh. Well, who survived the flood? If you, according to who survived and where they at? What happened after they got off the boat? Then, if the Bible was stolen from the flood story of the Epic of Gilgamesh, which they're just the sons of Ham, of course they're gonna have history about the flood. The Ham was on the boat.
Right.
Ham was the first nigga to have a baby. Canaan kind of like came off the boat with him. If you look at it,
That's real. That's real. Damn. Yeah.
Canaan just popped up like, where does this little nigga come from?
That's right.
Nasty
And the
ass.
right version of the flood.
Yeah,
So of course they had stories of the flood. But,
and hundreds of countries have the same account about the flood. That don't differ from one another. They said those stories from other countries about the flood is pretty much in the same alignment, if not synonymous. So how is it that hundreds and hundreds on hundreds of countries have the account of the flood? Because it happened.
because it happened. Yep.
This is Isaiah 10 and 22 in the NLT. It says, but though the people of Israel are as numerous as the sands of the seashore, only a remnant of them will return.
There you go.
The Lord Yahweh Bashmal Shah has rightly decided to destroy his people.
Damn. There you go. There's a lot of people who's going to be destroyed, man. Caught up in that judgment. You see, and Esau is going to be used to do a lot of the heavy lifting. Remember the Assyrian, get that in Isaiah 10, the Assyrian is the sword, the rod that I send against him. The Lord has historically used heathen nations to judge Israelites. So what makes Jake think that as Esau is ruling, there ain't gonna be no trouble to get up out of here? This is Esau we talking about.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Isaiah 10 and 5. O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger.
See, the Assyrian was the rod of the Lord's anger. See, because Jake kept going off, bowing to idols. So what did he do? He sent a kingdom, a nation of people against them, man. Read it again.
God, Isaiah 10 and 5. O Assyrian, the rod of my anger, and the staff in their hand is mine indignation.
See, the staff in their hand, the billy club, the taser, the gun. See? The spike bat. Okay? The Lord put that in their hand. And it's going to be used to wage war on 2/3 of our people, man. And it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Go ahead.
Verse 6 in the NLT. I am sending Assyria against a godless nation, against a people with whom I am angry. Assyria will plunder them, trampling them like dirt beneath its feet.
There you go. And this is getting ready to happen in the streets of America. These laws and the rights that they're taking away are all leading towards them justifying and stumping out the opposition. They're basically showing you this is the pattern of our new world. Okay? These are the laws. Trump is basically, again, your presidency, all right, America itself has been sold out, has been bought out by technocrats. Okay? It's no, even if you have a voice within Esau's beast system that really wants to do things the right way, he's not going to really be heard out. Okay? Ultimately, the bidding of the elite is to crash America because it stands in the way of what they're trying to do.
Yeah, and it makes sense for those particular men, even though we understand there's higher men than your Jeff Bezos and your Elon Musk and I can't think of that. Is it Elamite or Ishmaelite who's the president of Google? Yeah, he's either or, right? But those men, represent a level of technocracy in business. Now there are men, of course, very much above them, but they're a representative of that. Because we understand what the people like the Trilateral Commission, the true elites.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like them niggas is like them niggas talking right now. You know, niggas, you know, got some cognac on the rocks and they really discussing, hey, when we gonna do this?
Right, because as soon as Trump got elected, he put 3 technocrats in front of him. He put 3 guys, the transhumanists, the AI guys,
Going into space.
and what is the number one thing of some of these guys like Ellison to basically use AI to govern the world, man. Okay, surveil people for the digital ID. All right, to bring peace and safety, setting up a system where we can root out the competition using AI.
Yeah.
To AI police people, judge people, have more say in your everyday civil affairs. That's what these devils are getting ready to do. And if AI could pass laws, what if AI says everybody got to get a haragna?
They were talking about that.
That's going to be your new scientist. That's going to be your new teacher. That's going to be your new doctor. That's going to be your new philosophers. All going to lean on AI. There's AI videos on the net right now that are really speaking shit, and it's like on point. It knows how to speak to the red pill. It's just these videos. A lot of that's AI.
Yeah.
And it knows how to speak. It's taken the talking points of Andrew Tate, Kevin Sanders, and it's amalgamated and took all of that data and made a super red pill nigga.
Yeah.
And they're doing videos. It's like, God damn. And AI though.
Yeah, I ain't have no box.
Yeah.
Tell you how to treat a woman.
He know how to, but it's still like the shit be true.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So this man, you know what I'm saying? He's setting himself up to be God, bro.
And that's really happening, bro.
Yeah, we're here.
Like, yeah, it's really happening.
What more could this gotta be the end, man?
Yeah.
Where else can you go?
Yeah.
This is a lot, man.
Yeah. The Chat GPT is the new pastor and new / therapist now, bro. And possibly your lover. just real talk.
Yeah.
You can, bro, anything's possible with Chat GPT.
Bro,
You doing your 9 to 5 gig and Chat GPT. That's crossing out people who are game players, you know, over the net. People are really honed in on that, bro. People, and that's like the elders going into. That's what the elite want. That's what the left hand side wants. You know, they despise this.
Yeah.
This is the true building. That other shit is just making your brain in the mush, bro.
Well, that's why they set up for the kids, like our old heads. They look to get rid of you, but the kids, that's why they have molded them.
Yep.
They don't go outside anymore. They stay in here and they're, you know, like I say, this AI and different things. That's their God.
Yeah.
You know, they worship these different channels of you know, these different media waves and things like that. They constantly are looking at these things. They don't look at things outside of social media. They don't look at things outside of a screen that they watch in front of them.
Yeah.
So they can mold them however they want.
Yeah.
The ones that basically don't want to basically mold into that, they're looking to get rid of you.
Yeah. These niggas got sex dolls, bro, on the market. Like on some iRobot type shit or some even movies they've made about it, right? So it's like, bro, this has to be the end, bro.
Just gotta be it.
It's gotta be it, bro.
All right. Where was we at?
Oh, that was it on that verse there. But I got it.
Huh?
Did you want to see your Revelation?
Go ahead.
God, this is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 10 in the NLT. I'll start at verse 9. And when you read this chapter, it's going to the man of lawlessness or the man of sin, which was already at work when the Apostle Paul wrote this, which was the Roman Empire, Esau, Edom, and he's back, okay, through America and the EU. 2 Thessalonians.
And particularly to who? The Herodians, the Amalekites. Trying to put themselves in position to get the birthright back. You notice they gave Herod control over Judea. Okay, that was basically them, you know, calling themselves the king of the Jews. They want the birthright back.
Yeah.
That's why Herod wanted to put Yahweh to death, because he knew and understood what this child represented for us.
Yeah.
All right, but the Lord worked in his favor, just like he goes work in the favor of the elect.
That's right.
So if he tried to kill Yahweh Shai, what the hell you think he gonna try to do to the elect?
And that's why they put them That's why they give them special laws, because like the elder said, they're trying to get that birthright back.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, Trump can issue as many laws as they like. Nigga, you're not getting that help. I mean, Masalak, you're not getting that birthright back, bro. That was appointed to the right hand side, to the elect.
Right.
Yeah, you're not getting that beautiful birthright back.
All of the laws that are being placed are in the interest of the small hats in some shape, form, or fashion. They were even at the forefront of all of that juice jab that came out. It was everything that happened during that time that was passed as a law. It went back to a small hat. They're the one ultimately that's at the forefront of all of this madness. You see, and they're gonna lose.
Yep.
All right, where we at?
God.
Read it again.
God, this 2 Thessalonians 2:9.
Oh, you got it. You got it.
2 Thessalonians 2:9 in the NLT says, "This man will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power and signs and miracles. He will use every kind of evil deception." Right, and emphasizing that phrase, every kind. You know, as we were speaking about, this past Thursday, every means what? Nothing is left out. So that has to involve, deep fake, AI, Vivo 3, as the elders just mentioned, these particular, interviews and, media platforms on the internet. And you may think that this is a real person with a real talking point, but the whole time it's a damn robot, man.
What that brother sent earlier today in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, that was, bro. Had that Edomite as if though she was a news reporter. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is not real. Like, bro.
It's getting stronger and stronger. The more they use it, it's gonna get better and better to the point you ain't gonna know what is real and what is,
Bro, they can take from the likes of all of these personalities, all of these ancient poets, and make a super person.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that shit it speaks to people, and that shit makes so much sense, but it's not. It's artificial wisdom.
Yeah.
Right. It's crazy. The image of the beast is both speaking and calling as many as will not bow to it. Basically, if you don't bow to this technology, you're going to be separated from life.
Yeah.
If you don't want to come up under our digital Tower of Babel, our NWO, this digital grid, and really, most of the people, they want it off. The mass majority of the people, they plan on starving out, pretty much kicking out of the earth. The rest, which is going to be the cream of the crop of whoever, they're going to have to merge themselves to compete in the world. They're going to have to merge themselves with machines, because AI is going to be then took over the majority of the, so that to compete or to even have some sort of normalcy on Earth, you're going to have to upgrade yourself via that charagma. You see what I'm saying? It's crazy.
And
That's that 500 million that was on majority Godstone.
Yeah.
They're trying to get them numbers down to a small enough number,
Right.
to bring
To
that
do
into
that,
effect.
to bring that system, because they can't. It's really impossible with the majority of people on Earth. They have to justify waging war on them, and they do it every day by their science, right? But it's not really registering to people because they're able to they use witchcraft, but they're using they're tapping back into that scientific racism because they're going to use it as a means to cut off the majority of the people and justify it. And we ain't seen nothing yet. You got to think, when you see Esau's technology, really you're seeing stuff that they were doing 60 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
So imagine what he hasn't showed.
Yeah, when brothers, mothers, and grandmothers was young, they had this back then. They had this back then, bro.
Like a nigga Dexter Laboratory, nigga that working for it.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking.
It's gonna be bad. That's why it's called Michael and his angels versus the dragon and his angels. He got literal left-handed angels. That's what this is.
Right,
Yeah.
You know, even a camera, a camera basically recording that you ran a red light.
Yeah.
That's an angel on the left-hand side recording your sins.
And then people, on situations that you could possibly prevent. Everybody has issue with that now because people put out a camera and record before they'll help now.
Yeah.
Somebody watch your car get in the flames rather than try to pull you out.
Right.
Because a lot of people have been making mention of that. That man, people pull out a phone first. Oh, this nigga about to die. Look at him. You know, like, bro,
Right.
shit, call somebody before you record.
Right. This nigga choking. You got a bottle of water. Record.
Yeah.
Nigga, go pour some of that shit down that nigga nostril.
Yeah.
But this is the American people that they're consumed. And he got everybody right where we want. Even we look at our phones too goddamn. He has everybody looking down, all right, and distracted. Meanwhile, he's conquering everything before your eyes.
But you can't, unfortunately, in this society, you can't live without it.
Right.
Our bank information is tied to it. Your child's school, your email, if you work for
Everything.
everything, bro.
Right.
Your
You can
job.
look at a menu in certain restaurants. You have to have a phone.
Yeah.
So he's drawn, and then when you say no, you can't function no more in society.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be a point where we're gonna have to totally lean on the Lord.
Yeah.
Because he got it set up to where you're gonna have to come to him for life. He controlled the seeds, he got control of the water. The new president of the World Economic Forum said water is not a human right.
Right. Yeah.
Woo. Look at somebody who thinks like that. Why wouldn't water be a human right? Water is a God-given right to humanity.
Yeah.
Air.
Yeah.
Taxing that.
He wants to tax it.
Yeah. Yeah, he ain't right, bro.
Our bodies are made up of water.
He wants to trace carbon. He wants to trace your carbon footprint in the earth. Do you realize how oppressive that is?
Yeah.
That's
Great.
I mean, you don't own yourself. That's basically what it's getting down to. Like, you don't own yourself. I own you.
Yep. To save the earth, I'm going to track, all right, because overconsumption is a problem. And it is, here in America specifically, all right? But ultimately, you don't teach people how to live. But ultimately, he's going to ration out food to you. He's going to tell you how much water you can have. He's going to tell you how far you can travel. He's getting ready to set up that system here in America. Imagine that. People are going to lose their fucking minds. Telling them they can't come outside after 9 o'clock.
And they just did that. In 22, bro, they just did that. How soon people forget?
no test run.
Yeah.
So this man is getting ready to wage war.
That's right.
The devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath. We got to get that. So what was we reading? Something else?
You said Thessalonians, right?
Yeah,
We finished it already?
there's a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's 2 Thessalonians 2:10 in the NLT again. It says he will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction. It says because they refuse to love and accept the truth that will save them.
He go even have news stories and videos with brothers doing wickedness. Your voice, it look just like you, but it's AI. And people go fall for it. When the scriptures say, if possible, can deceive the very elect, now I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It was on that Tone Tyrone movie. You sitting out on the couch looking at himself doing, you know what I'm saying? Same shit.
Yep. Got you sitting, confessing, I love children. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
You know what I'm saying? It's just really, you sit in front of a therapist, they got the camera like it's a secret camera. You know what I'm saying? You gotta try to convince, that ain't me, the mole ain't on my eye, look. I got a mole, that motherfucker ain't got no mole. Your parents, everybody go see it, they go do things, you know what I'm saying? This is what's coming. And we gonna have to still believe. We gonna have to not turn from the Lord.
That's why the Lord said detach and let go of your finger. I see what I go out and get it every day. That's it.
Fucking head. Last week I had asked ChatGPT, you know, if you were the devil, you know, how would you use deepfake and AI? And what you just said made me think about one of the responses it gave. I'm gonna get straight to the point here. I mean, it gave a pretty good, you know, summary. But down here in section 2, it says divide and radicalize populations. It says to exploit societal fractures and create tribalism, division. You know, it says use AI bots to flood social media and polarizing posts tailored for left versus right, black versus white, rich versus poor.
It's literally, when you're looking at social media, a lot of those responses are bots.
Yes.
Trained to respond in a way that triggers people.
Yeah.
So all day, people's just being triggered, just arguing, and just distracted.
Yeah.
You respond, and 80 other niggas respond. You just started a whole fucking movement by a comment.
Yeah.
But it's a bot who you're responding to. It's not a real person.
Yeah.
A lot of these pages are fake people, man.
Yep.
But they're able to respond. They've learned that AI has been fed by the human race.
Yeah.
Bang.
He's fed. Your data has been taken, and data is the new gold. This data has been taken and sold to companies. They know how you think. They know what you want. They know how to play on your emotions. They know.
Boy, that's what the nigga do ability to search, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's a left hand. He's the man on the left hand.
Yep.
You know.
It's gotta be Daniel 12 though.
Yeah.
That time unlike any other since there was a
Yeah.
nation that had to be what he was describing.
Get that. Somebody get that.
Then we got Revelation 12 and 12. We got that. We want that.
Yeah. Then we close.
Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath.
Even the things in the sea suffer. He's destroying everything. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, including the animals, and of the sea. Everything is suffering under this man's plan to attain God head on earth.
That's right.
Everything's dying, man. And he don't plan on stopping.
No.
Okay, he wants to go to Mars and do the same thing.
Fuck up more.
Was it Mars?
Put a ghetto on Mars.
Yeah.
But it's something y'all said last week. I think Elon Musk, y'all said they said it was too cold.
Yeah, they were interviewing him, and they asked him, so you plan on going to Mars? Is it inhabitable? They say it's kind of too cold for humans to live there. He said, well, we'll just shoot a nuke on it to warm it up. And he said it with a straight face.
Yeah.
The so-called white man is a psycho.
Yeah.
See, the 80s was the last of the cool Edomites.
Yeah.
The 90s, you know what I'm saying? But after that, now this is a creep.
Right. Yeah, MacGyver. Yeah, that was the last.
You know what I'm saying? The Islander dude with the sword and shit.
Wonder Years. Like, that's the Edomite is not it no more.
That's right.
Eddie Panetti. What movie was that? What movie was that?
Yeah.
Can't Buy Me Love?
That shit. Yeah.
Eddie Panetti.
The bullies. The white man was like the hunk, you know? It's over now for the white man, man. This guy is a crash out. And he's created a bunch of crash outs in the world, man. So he's getting ready to come down with great wrath because he only has a short time. Look at him. You think the Lord will keep put up with that forever, man?
Right. That's diabolical. I mean, you say if you can inhabit another planet before you put another person on there. That's him with his sword. I want to put a bomb on there first before I even put a person, a spirit on there. I want to put a bomb out there.
Bro, he's blocking the sun here on Earth. They're already those programs that were funded by the likes of Gil Bates, okay, funding these projects to dim the sun and spray different particles in the air. If you feel certain, you feel tired, you feel irritable. You see what I'm saying? You just get hot. It's just a weird, eerie. The sun looks weird.
Yeah.
He got to go.
Yeah.
I'm ready for you know what I'm saying? You've been taught you need all of this, and all I need is the earth to be in order. That's all you need is the earth.
Everything will take care of itself.
Bro, if you just give Jake a backyard with water and access to food, and Jacob would chill. It's the simple things in life that we gotta, we don't have now. This is bullshit, bro.
Yeah.
Let's get that in Daniel, and we'll get a few more and close it out.
This is Daniel 12 and 1. And it reads, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation.
Right, and AI got to be a part of that. Now that I'm seeing how it is, because they're gonna put this stuff out and justify waging war and carting people off. Like it's gonna be fake events. Even a lot of these news clips that are being shown, a lot of this stuff is fake. It's a psyop. It's a psychological operation being waged on the people, but actual laws are going to be passed on the psyop.
Because a lot of people from different states and even countries, they'll reach out and be like, man, it's not as bad as they making it, bro. Like, I live right by there.
Right,
It's not
it
as
ain't
bad.
just, right.
Like, shit just popped off for like 2 hours and that's it and that's all. Yeah.
Bro, all Esau needs is to have control of a few blocks and just record people doing something. He's able to put that on the news and make that the end all be all of what's going on in those regions.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the people watching it, and this is their perception based on what they're being shown, but they're not being really shown. This man is a witch.
Yeah.
And the Most High,
Racist,
the Most
They
High
got
suffers.
yeah.
No, the Most High suffers not a wish to live, so that's why he's gonna be destroyed.
Yep.
Yeah, they have these little animations that show that. It's like it'll show like part of the scene, you know, and that part that you see, it looks like something totally different is happening than when they show the whole, you know what I'm saying? When they show the whole deal, it's like, wow, bro, this nigga doing that, man.
Yeah.
You know?
He off the chain.
Yep. He'll take two events with small hats being assaulted, and that's the end all be all what's happening to small hats.
He'll look that
Every
shit
time
up.
they walk outside, pow!
Right.
He'll loop that and keep it
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, nigga, nobody is attacking small hats like that, bro.
Right.
Those are the most left alone people
Right.
walking the earth because people had that concept. Oh, these are God's chosen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Jake who don't know. You know what I'm saying? And at this point, if you don't know, hey, that sucks for you.
Yep.
Man.
So a time like none other. We was gonna get Jacob's trouble, but unless y'all want to get it, the point was made.
That was time in that verse. It's mentioned 4 times.
Yeah.
Then you go into the words, come like a time of an event. It'll be a major event will happen, man.
Yep. A major event is getting ready to happen in the planet Earth, man. The Lord is getting ready to put a very cold spirit on our enemy, and He's gonna come down with great wrath, man. But if we're coming under the blood, we good. They overcame Him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. So, with that, man, we will give all praises to the Heavenly Father.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to you. Shalom.
Shalom.